Oftentimes you hear fancy titles like art director, creative director, associate creative director. But do you really know what they do? Welcome everybody, this is Eddie Minaya. I'm a graphic designer, a web designer, a visual communicator, a storyteller with more than 20 years of experience. If you're new to this channel will help you grow your graphic design career. So stay tuned. This is Eddie Knows TV.
17, setting it off, so let's go. To speak about my man who was cool as fresh snow. His dress code was nothing but fresh clothes and the best hoes. Upon his arm he kept those and kept close with his friends and family. His aim was a bin, so he saved his salary.
So when I first met my wife, when we started dating, and I told her what my official title was, where I worked, it was associate creative director, and she was like, "What does an associate creative director really do?" Just because the word director is part of your title, she was like, "Do you direct people what to do?" Recently, sometimes early this year, I was at a recruiting event. We were trying to go to an actual school, a school of the arts in the area that I live, trying to recruit people and trying to see the talent that is getting out of school. And this was a graduate program. And I was surprised to see that a lot of the people that were just getting out of school wanted to reach out a title that had some sort of director already in it. Most of the creative people that I met, not the writers, but more on the visual design, they were good at what they did. They were getting out of a great art school, but they all wanted to be already an art director or a creative director without really knowing what is to get to these positions. It's not just I'm an art director just right out of school. I mean, you may get out of school and you may end up going for a small company that only have one person doing all the work, and if that's the case, well, great, you may have a title that says art director, but are you really prepared for what an art director really supposed to do? My advice would be that even if you're a graduate student and if you're getting out with some experience, very little experience at that point, start from the bottom up. Start from a junior position that is going to go up. You're going to go up the ladder. One, you're going to learn a lot more stuff because you're going to be able to kind of get from the little greedy, the little details of what you need to do, to the conceptual stuff, to creating something like a whole campaign and what's the process. If you are just wanted to be an art director and you are lucky enough that someone would hire you with no experience or with very little experience and give you the title, you're going to have a hard time trying to find out the process, trying to find out the different things that you need to do in order to understand this position. So what does a creative director really do? You hear this, and if you're just starting up your career, if you're a junior or just a graphic designer or a senior designer, and you kind of have an idea maybe of what they do, but you see them in meetings a lot, you see them on the phone a lot, but do you really what they do? You're just thinking, man, they're just probably getting paid a lot more money than I am, and they just seem to be sitting down in meetings all day. I can do that, and well, let me just tell you, I'm sometimes in meetings back to back. I'm talking about from 9 to 10 to 10 to 11 to 11 to 12. Sometimes there's no time to eat. There's very little time to even go to the bathroom. It is rough. By the time, if you are in a back-to-back meetings, by the time you reach 4 hours of meetings, your brain is completely drained. Your day, you're going to be so exhausted. And if you have a day, which I had many times, meetings where you have to be in meetings, let's say 6-7 hours of your day, by the time your day ends, you're going to be drained. That's why if you ever been to any sort of brainstorms where it's like an all-day brainstorm in 2 or 3 days, those are very, very tiring. You use a lot of your thinking, a lot of your rationale, a lot of your there's a lot of decision making, a lot of sometimes it's just too much. So trust me, these meetings that you see them, you don't want. Enjoy the time you have now, because as you go up the ladder, you're going to be these meetings. Sometimes when you're back-to-back meetings, it is tiring. Now, keep in mind, when you're in these positions, you get to see other things. You get to see the other side. You get to see the business side of things, which is very, very, very good to understand and to follow through. So if you're in a junior, mid-level, senior position, you are going to learn these things as you go along. So that's why it's important to start at the bottom and to kind of grow your career onto a position like this. You oversee a lot of the work. A lot of the work that comes through, in the conceptual side, the design, the visual aesthetics, the decision making. You may actually be the one helping, you may be the one doing some of it, you may be the one directing it, you may be the one leading it. You have to set up all the meetings, you have to make sure that everything falls into place, the deadlines are met, that it falls, that it is actually, if you have a budget, that it falls within that budget. All these things there's a lot more to it, and I'm just giving you the little tip of what it is to be in one of these positions. Yes, you may get paid more, yes, but along with more pay comes a lot more responsibility. Responsibility to make sure the work gets done, to make sure you as the junior staff, mid-level staff are growing, that you as the junior staff, mid-level senior staff are getting taken care of, that you're not overworking, that you're not burning out. All these things fall on the creative director, all falls on the associate creative director. And yes, there are agencies that you're going to work that are going to burn you out. That's just how this business is. You just have to pick and choose, the type of company you want to work with. If it's an agency, it is going to be long hours, it's going to be pretty high, the pace is going to be really rapid, and you're going to most likely burn out within 1 or 2 years of kind of going onto this mode. You eventually burn out, and your ideas, you start making a lot more mistakes. Your ideas, you just kind of completely have blocks, and you just don't know how to get inspired anymore, because all you're doing is just pumping out work. So the creative director has to figure out how to jumpstart a lot of these. Sometimes when things get like this, when they get too busy that you have no time, how do you do this? How do you make your staff stay motivation? They're motivated, that they're happy, that they're not overworking. And at the same time that they're growing their career. That is, make sure that they're going into the career path that they want to go. There's a lot that goes along with this position. And the higher you go up the ladder, once you start getting even into the executive positions, the work is just greater and greater. It has these rewards. Yes, you kind of see the work in a completely different way. You see the work as a teamwork. But I'm one of those directors as of today. But as of today, if I have to and I still have to code an email, test it, and deploy it because someone either had a lot of work or too much work and not enough time to do it, or they were out on vacation, or they were out sick, I will do it. I will still do that work. I'll still do design work. I still have some design work that I have to do, just because maybe it's a client that worked with me for a long time. Maybe it's it's a very complex work. Maybe it's work that you've made relationships with a specific client or a project manager. So you have to do it. So you don't have to be scared. And I know you're going to meet along the way these directors that they feel that they're too good to do any of this work. I'm not one of them. I can be down with everybody else in the room doing the work, and I will do it. I try to be a team player, and again, you're not gonna find every director like this, but I'm one of them. So, in summary, if you want to know, or you want to kind of learn yourself, you want to grow to be in one of these positions, experience is one of the things. Get good at what you do. Learn a lot of the business. Learn the logistics. Learn how business work, how the type of business, if you're in government contracting, how does work? Because all these are going to be important tips for you as you get higher and higher on a position. Learn how to work with people, how to manage your time. I have some videos that talks about tips about how to manage your time, about processes. All these things are important because there's things that are going to make you grow. So I hope this video helped you. I hope it gave you at least 1 or 2 tips, give you a little more insights of what a creative director really does on a daily basis. And I will see you soon. This is Eddie Knows TV. See you next time.
Same job for so many years. Boss tried to mess with him. Kiddies didn't listen, so we made his own mission. Keep the money since he peeped CDs from the bank. Didn't mess with the rest.